Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
And my role right here is to introduce you to Smita Sodhi, a person who has become a friend of mine over, the last year, a little bit more than a year, I think. Um, but I will say we're talking about a very passionate educator that is also a social studies teacher like myself. So we have a lot of common interests, but also um, commonalities with how we teach, who we teach, and and I will say the passion that we want to connect our students to people around the world. We don't want to be just in India and in Japan. I live in Japan, by the way. I am Canadian, but I want to connect the world. So I'm here right now because I want to introduce this awesome person who is going to talk to you about Google Arts and Culture. Now, if you've been following some of the sessions or participating in the sessions and watching over the last 2 days, and we have one more day to go, by the way, 3 days of GEG APAC Weekend 5.0, the fifth time we've done this. You have seen that I have done a Google Geo Tools presentation. I deliberately held back. I wanted to talk about Google Arts and Culture, but I knew this session was coming up. And I also know that Ms. Sumeta also is awesome with Google Arts and Culture. She is deep into it. She understands pretty much, well, she gets Google Geo tools, which are good for social studies, history, geography, but also economics, art, culture. I could go on, science as well. But I decided that I'm going to hold back and leave it to Ms. Sumeta to tell you about Google Arts and Culture, something I love very much and I do use in my classes. So I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Sumeta Sodhi. You're going to do an awesome presentation because I've seen you do this presentation a couple of times before. Everyone, thank you for joining us. I will post in the chat, or actually, we will have posted in the chat a little bit later a certificate that you can get after watching this session. Please view more. I'm going to pass it over, Ms. Sumeta.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Nate, for being here and getting the started session with a lot of inspiration and motivation with the importance of using technology into the classroom. And especially when we talk about social science classroom, I think it is very, very important to engage students in most creative and engaging way. And since the time the pandemic has stuck, we have realized how important the educational technology has become in the classroom to get the students motivation and interest into the learning and into the attending of learning, the hybrid learning and blended learning. So here today with the GG apex session, we have come with a tool which is going to spark creativity into your classroom, and that is the theme we are going to talk about today: sparking creativity with Google Arts and Culture. So please allow me to share my screen so that we can get started without wasting any further time. We want to give the maximum learning experience to all our audience here. And let us get started with the GG Apex session on sparking creativity with Google Arts and Culture. Mr. Nate, is my screen visible? I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So here I am, Sumedha Sodhi, and I am passionate about using edtech tools. Different edtech tools have made me a better teacher, I can say, over a period of time. And to learn more about the educational technology into the classroom, you can follow me on Twitter at the rate Sodhi Sumedha. This is my Twitter handle. You can follow me on Facebook by the name of Sumedha Sodhi and also on the Instagram. So, welcome everyone to the session on Google Arts and Culture. And to get the session started, I would like to first show you and spark some interest on what Google Arts and Culture is all about. So let us watch this video together. So this is the video which I wanted to show you to spark some interest about what is Google Arts and Culture. So you can explore and you can take your students into the world, whether they are museums, you can show them the artwork. There are so many games that you can play with your students through Google Arts and Culture. So, in this session, we are going to find out that historical artifacts, paintings, artwork, culture, resources, how we can link them into the classroom teaching with the real world. And we can innovate our pedagogy and we can utilize these various art forms and culture in our learning across the subjects, whether it is English, it is your sciences, your mathematics, your geography, your biography. So, any kind of subject, it can be integrated. It's not just for social sciences, it is an immersive way to explore arts and history. Google Arts and Culture have come up with a collection of more than 2,500 museums from across the world at your fingertips. So, what we are going to learn today? We will learn how to get started. We will learn about Google Arts and Culture platform and how to find your way around on the platform. We will together discover the content and deep dive into the content. We will find that how you can use the platform in your classroom teaching experience. We will also talk about various activities which are available, the lessons, the resources which you can use in your curriculum, and they are given in the repository to us by Google Arts and Culture. Google Arts and Culture brings the world into your classroom. Why I am saying that? Because it gives access to over 2,000 world's great museums, galleries, and historic sites. It helps us to connect those cross curricular connectivity and conduct those experiments into the classroom in the field of music, art, biology, ecology, literature, and much more. And you can also take students to virtual field trips with Google Arts and Culture, giving them the street view tours of almost 1,000 and plus historical and cultural sites. Isn't it amazing? It sounds so astonishing that while sitting at our place, while sitting in the home during the pandemic, we can take students to the virtual field trip of the world. There was a time when we used to take students for educational excursion, but due to the pandemic, those excursions are not possible. But Google Arts and Culture have made it possible for all of us to take our students into the world or bring the world into your classroom. And why to use Google Arts and Culture with the students? This is also a question which is popping in minds of some educators present here, because It gives you the wide range of topics that you are looking for. It gives you the most immersive and interactive experience. You can also see augmented reality experiences available on the platform. The information has been curated through various museums and various historic sites, which is very reputable information, which Google is collaborating with the museums of the world. And also, while teaching our students about conducting their research, it is very important to guide them about using the primary sources of information. So, Google Arts and Culture gives you the primary sources which students can use in their projects for collaborative learning. Now, how to access Google Arts and Culture? There are two ways we can access Google Arts and Culture. Either we can use the web version, or if we want to use the mobile application, we can download Google Arts and Culture from Play Store or from the Apple Store. So let's get started. Without any further ado, I would like to take you on a hands on practice and see how amazing this tool is. So I request everyone, all the participants, to jump on to your Omnibox and type there Google Arts and Culture. So I will show you. You go to your Google browser and type in there Google Arts and Culture. So once you type in there, click here. This is the icon of this edtech tool, this online platform. This first link that you see, it is Google Arts and Culture. So we will click here. And here you can see, since I have used my Gmail account to log in, so my profile is also coming over here. So please make sure that you are signed in Google Arts and Culture. I have already signed in because I am using this. So that is why my profile is already being displayed over here. Now let me show you this wonderful platform once. I am just hovering over the pages which are given over here so that you see the first dashboard of Google Arts and Culture. There are games, there are some different kind of discovery sites, there are so many recommendations, there are galleries to visit on, there are images from the space and whatnot. So this is the first view that you will see on your home screen. This is the home screen of Google Arts and Culture. Now, how to get started with Google Arts and Culture? So here you see this hamburger menu, this three lines, parallel lines. When you click here, this gives you the entire palette of what we have. So you have home, you have explore button, you have nearby, you can make your profile, you can also map your achievements, you can create collections. There are so many themes, experiments, artists, mediums, and art movements. And we are going to learn about all these tabs. So let us go to the explore option. Once you click on explore option, you can explore experiments. You can have so many art cameras. There are 360-degree videos which you can show into your classroom. And you can also see a lot of categories, like you have categories of artists, mediums, art movements, historic events. You can explore by time, by color. You can see there are so many themes, there are so many collections which have been created, and every day this information gets updated. So there are weekly highlights, popular topics. So as per the topic you want to choose, you have to do your research beforehand, before going into the class, and you have to decide yourself first that what I am going to talk about through Google Arts and Culture into my classroom. Now, this nearby option is really great. We also have one app called Nearby, which I generally use to find out the good restaurant and hotel deals near my house so that I can go and celebrate with my family and have a good dining experience. So once I click on Nearby, I will get to see all the museums and exhibitions near me. Isn't it wonderful? During the pandemic time, I cannot travel outside because of the lockdown and restricted travel, but I can see which museums and exhibitions are located near me. So there is a Indian National Science Academy, which is just 2.4. uh, um, this It is closed right now. I think due to the pandemic, these are closed. National Science Center is also located nearby. Crafts Museum, Museum of Illusions. This is open till 9 p.m. if I want to go. Then there are so many museums. But if I am not able to go to these museums because of the pandemic, I can simply click on this and I can see the directions for these museums. Right now, the view in the Google Arts and Culture of these museum are not available, but very soon Google Arts and Culture will be coming with the virtual tour of these museums. But I can see the directions to these museums, I can see the official website. So there are so many nearby museums which I can explore through this particular option. And these are the favorites. So I will tell you how you can create your favorite list also. So let us go to this menu and see what kind of collections are being created. Once I click on collections, so these are the different collections I have. I can use these three buttons given on the top to view the collection. I can view all the collections. I can view the collections alphabetically, A to Z. I can also use the map option and see which museums are located where, and anywhere in the world I can go to any of the museums. Isn't it great? I can view any museum in any country. So I don't have to travel to any country to visit the museum. There are the number of the museums and the virtual field trips in that particular place is also being given over here. So like here in India, this it's written there are 6 places I can visit over here. So once I click, I will go into the deeper depth of those museums. So as I click on all, and let me take you to one of the museum. This is the National Gallery of Art in Washington D.C. Once I click here, I will be able to see these stories which are given over here. There is a collection. There are around 42,462 items which are present from this particular gallery. And here, if I really like this, I can add this gallery to my favorites by clicking on this like button. So once I click on the like button, it gets added to my favorite collection, and I also get a badge for doing that, which is being compiled in my achievements. I can share this art gallery with the help of a link with my students. I can share it on the social media, and there are different sharing options. I can also share it into my Google Classroom. So I can also give this virtual tour to my students and embed this into my Google Classroom so that students can watch it, and later on we can plan some discussion activities over it. Now, what are the themes? The next tab says themes. So let us explore this. On the basis of different themes, also the collections are being organized here. So if you are talking about a particular topic, maybe you want to talk about the sustainable development goals into your classroom, and you want to talk about what United Nations is doing these days for climate change. So this is the theme virtual gallery created for that. So you can scroll down, and there is an entire information given here. What are COP26 and green zone? Students can read about this, what happened in the green zone. So there are different multimedia presentations available. There are videos which you can play and show it to your students. 5 incredible ideas given over here from the green zone. So wonderful compilation of all the good resources that you want your students to read are being compiled under one particular theme. So, as a teacher, you don't have to worry about that. I want to talk about climate crisis in my class today, but I do not have resources. So, Google Arts and Culture have done that for you, and they have created the entire theme based collections, how to tackle pollution. There are videos which can be discussed into the classroom. There are so many videos where the students have shared their own voices on how the climate change can be combated. So, this is the place where you can go in the theme section and explore all the kind of themes which are being available. And here you see there is another search option. So if I am teaching about Indian history into my classroom and I want to talk about the different monuments, so I will see today I want to talk about the one of the ancient dynasties in India, the Mughal dynasty. And one of the monuments created by them was Taj Mahal. And I want to talk about Taj Mahal. So I can take students to Taj Mahal Garden. I can take students to the four secret spots at Taj Mahal. I can take them to a tour from the top. And I can also give them a brief history of Taj Mahal. So let me click here and see what is given in Google Arts and Culture. I can add this to my favorites by clicking here, share the link, or share it on social media with the other teachers and tag them on how they can make their classroom teaching interesting. Rather than just talking about Taj Mahal in the textbook, I will talk about the beauty of this monument through this Google Arts and Culture. So there is a information given about Taj Mahal given over here. I can take students to this beautiful monument. These are the arrow keys over here which I can use, and I can take my students to the different views of Taj Mahal. The 360-degree view is also available. So these kind of things are really going to make my classroom teaching experience really different. So here is the person who is the man behind the construction of Taj Mahal, the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. So I can talk about him into the classroom. This is the another important monument that we talk about in the Mughal dynasty, that is the Humayun Stone. So there is information about that. There is a 360-degree view of another great spot near Taj Mahal. So since the chapter is being developed on five, I can talk about the calligraphy, the Arabic calligraphy, which decorates the surface of Taj Mahal, and it is being inscripted on the walls of Taj Mahal. So here you can see these arrow buttons are there, which will help me to go into the building deeper and deeper. And I can talk about the infrastructure, I can talk about the different important architectural styles, and then we have the credits. So we can also talk about that why giving credits is important. It is also one of the ways we are teaching our students about the digital citizenship skills. Now, you must be wondering that this seems to be a tool which is only useful for a social science classroom. No, it is not like that. So, for that, I am going to give you the mantra that how you have to explore this for other subjects. So, you go to the search option and type there, learn. As you type learn, the first tab here you will see is learn with Google Arts and Culture. So as you click here, you will be taken to a page which is specifically designed for teachers, educators, and guardians and parents to teach through Google Arts and Culture. Here you can see there is a beautiful guide given over here, and there is a complete downloadable guide available for teachers to make the most out of Google Arts and Culture into the classroom. So as I click here, this entire guide is going to get downloaded, which I can read and I can get started with Google Arts and Culture into my classroom. Another guide which I can see and read is the quick tips which are given for the teachers to give the most best experiences of the educational arts and cultural experience into the classroom. And not only that, there are so many subjects into which different themes and items are being compiled which can be used. So I can teach biology using Google Arts and Culture. I can teach arts, physics, chemistry, history, music. I can also teach geography, computing, and also literature. So let us explore one of the subjects. So if I go to physics and click here, so there are different topics of physics which I can teach through Google Arts and Culture. There is an entire information given about the leading physicist from history. So there is a picture of the person, Newton, who discovered the gravity, apple falling from the tree. So these kind of concepts can easily be discussed into the classroom using Google Arts and Culture. And see, there are a lot of 3D objects which I can talk about and show into the classroom. So here is a model of the command module from Apollo 11. As I click over here, the project is getting launched and I can give the entire 3D view to my students from top to bottom. So this kind of, like, I'm just using my mouse cursor to move this model. I can give the top view, I can give the bottom view, I can zoom in, I can zoom in to get closer and closer and closer and give the view of all the parts, the exhaust fans, and all the body parts which have been used to make this Apollo 11 North American Rockwell. So this kind of 3D experience is not possible into the classroom. And here is the information given about this particular object, this device. Yeah, I can read that and discuss with my students into the classroom, do some research project with students, and also I can share this with the students using this share button. So I can there is a link which I can copy and give it to my students. I can embed this particular assignment into Google Classroom and then create some worksheet or some interactive questions out of that. I can create a flipped classroom worksheet on the basis of this project. So there are multiple ways you can teach and you can embed these 3D activities into your classroom. There is a 360-degree video being displayed over here. So there are so many questions which have been answered which we may not be able to answer every time into the classroom. Sometimes children ask such questions: who invented the battery, who invented zero? So all these question answers are given over here. And not only that, you also have lesson plans which the teachers around the world can use, and you can talk about those theories into your classroom. So let us see which all lesson plans are available which the teachers can use. So there are the downloadable lesson plans on different themes. Even there is a lesson plan on Diwali at home. There is a lesson plan on heritage. There are lesson plans on global identity. There is a lesson plan on Big Bang Theory. There is a lesson, different lesson plans are being given over here. And you can also take students to the virtual field trip. Every time just teaching and teaching makes students really bored. So sometimes you have to do something interesting into the classroom. And here is a virtual field trip where students can be taken to the scuba diving experience, and you can talk about the Great Barrier Reef along with this beautiful story, digital story, which is being given over here. So the students can go with you and they can experience being into the coral reefs. So I'm just scrolling the screen down. It is taking some time to get loaded. So once you click on any lesson, you can like add it to your favorites. You can share the link with your students. You can share it on social media with other educators if you come across a very good virtual field trip which you recommend to other teachers to be used in the classroom. And with this button, you can embed into your Google Classroom. Now we have talked about the different teaching pedagogies that can be integrated into the classroom. Let me also show you some of the experiments which are available in Google Arts and Culture that you can talk about and then you can show into your classroom. So there are different experiments which are available over here. Slogans for the class of 2030: play with the paint with music. And this is one of the experiment which I really like, the blob operas. So as I click on launch experiment, this experiment will get loaded onto my screen, and again I have to click on launch experiment, and it is getting loaded onto my screen. And here the message comes is drag to sing. So I have to drag, and you can see this kind of music sounds are coming. This is another one, drag to sing. So teaching music also becomes interesting into the classroom. There is another blog which is coming up. So this is one experiment which is being developed by one of the musicians, and then there is a applaud sound also. I can also record something in my voice to give this experience to my students. So this is how these experiments are a great way to talk about different subjects into the classroom. And coming on to the home page again, I would like to show you now some of the games that you can play with your students by going to this play button. As I click on the play button, I will see there are so many games which I can play into my classroom with my students. So there is a games like puzzle party. There is a crossword puzzle that I can do with my students. There is a art coloring book. Where what came first? This is another game. So gamification is also possible with Google Arts and Culture. It's not only about going to different museums and going to different places. Rather, you can also embed games into your teaching learning experience, and you can make your classroom experience really engaging and fun with your students, because most of this time, I remember when I was into the physical classroom, most of the time children asked me to organize some games and activities for them, because children do not like teacher centered teaching. They don't want us to be the sage on the stage giving them all these sermons. They actually want to get engaged. But in the physical classroom, those activities which we used to do, they all became obsolete into the blended learning environment, and we had to do something using technology to give them the same engaging experiences. So let us try here. What is a puzzle party? So once I click on puzzle party, the it is getting ready, and you will see there are so many puzzles which are given over here. All these beautiful artworks will be converted into puzzle. So if I am talking about in the junior classes, if I am talking about fruits, so I can give them this puzzle to play. So this entire piece of art will convert into a jigsaw puzzle. The puzzle is getting loaded, and students will get the opportunity to arrange that jigsaw puzzle into the kind of a sequence where they are able to derive the same picture out of the jigsaw puzzles. So I can play this puzzle single handedly as a solo player, and I also have the option of inviting all my students into one puzzle and giving them the chance to solve that puzzle in collaborative manner or in a team manner, which also helps in inculcating 21st century skills among my learner. So I think my internet connectivity is little slow. That is why it is taking so much of time. So let me try once more. If it opens, it's good. Otherwise, you can try on your own also. Once you click on launch experiment, there are so many artworks which are given over here. Let me show you the different artworks which are available. And these artworks, any of the artworks which you think you want to talk about, or any of the topics you are doing, maybe, or just for fun, some important personalities are being given over here, and you can choose any one art piece. Click over there, and now it works luckily. So here it comes, whether I want to play this as a solo or as multiplayer. So once I click on multiplayer, I can give this puzzle as an assignment into Google Classroom, or I can share this link with my students and invite them to come and join and solve this puzzle collaboratively in the team. So I just have to tap to copy this link and paste this link into my learning management system, or in the Teams call, or in the Google Meet call, wherever I am teaching my students, I have to share the link, and students will be able to solve this puzzle together. So, isn't it a great way to engage students? And all the students will be working and striving to create this puzzle and getting the original picture back. So, this is one of the beautiful games which you can play with Google Arts and Culture. Coming on to the other games which are available, the second game I would like to talk about is the Visual Crosswords. So here again, I have to just click on Launch Experiment, and here is the contemporary art, and here is the Renaissance art, which means the new evolutions which have taken place. And I have to drag and drop images to place them in the crossword. So I have to see whether it is a contemporary art, or I can put this is a latest one. So similarly, I have to solve this, and then I have to click on remove wrong items. So all the answers which were wrong will be deleted from the puzzle. So this way, till the time I get the right answer, so students can easily be taught the difference between the contemporary art and and the other Renaissance art can also be taught using this game, which is again very engaging way to teach students about different concepts. Another game which is available in Google Arts and Culture is the art coloring book. Now, whenever we talk about embedding art and culture, we generally expect students to show their creative side. And since due to the pandemic, if the students are not able to do the physical artwork or coloring, which also helps them to improve their creative skills, you can always take help of the digital coloring book, which is provided by Google Arts and Culture. So there are different art forms, art pieces, very beautiful art pieces given here in Google Arts and Culture, and you can choose any one art form, whatever you like. For example, let us take this first one, and as I click here, I will get a sketch which I have to paint. So I can use this color palette, and I can simply choose the color whichever I want. So maybe I want to color the flowers as red, or the entire dress as red. The the hair I want to make it black. So this is how I can complete the entire coloring, and I can match it that this was the original one and this is what I have done. So I can also change the background. I can also do the outlines. I can undo if I am not happy with my work, and I can simply download this and take a printout of this. I can share it with my teacher, with my students, with my class through the link, or again, I can give this art coloring page to my students to be completed as homework, and I can embed this as assignment in the Google Classroom. So this is another way to spark the creativity into your classroom, as we are about talking about Google Arts and Culture, that how does it sparks creativity into the classroom. Next game that is available with us is What Came First. So let us explore this game also. What Came First is a very beautiful game to compare cultural movements in time. So every time when you are talking about history and you are talking children about this happened in this BC and this happened in this AD, so it is very boring for the students to learn the year or the centuries. So here is a beautiful activity where with a timer where you have to tell what came first. So does Roses, this visual art came first or this film came first? So if I click here, so let us see what happens. So I have got 30 points for this. The faster you answer, the more points you get. Similarly, I have to continue and tell what came first. So I'm just giving a trial. So this way I have to, year of birth is not given, which I have to figure out. So what came first again? So my points are increasing and increasing and increasing. So this way, this games become real fun with the students to explore and learn about their culture in a very innovative way. Another game, so many games are given, so you must be getting excited to use all these games. Another beautiful game which is available here is the cultural crosswords. So there are crosswords which you can make on arts, on places around the world, on science and technology, on fashion, nature, Halloween, happy holidays. So let us go and explore around the world. So here you have the entire boxes, empty boxes, and here it is given tap boxes to see the clue and type your answer. So once I tap here, the question is coming for me. Island with the oldest remaining mosque structure on the East African coast. So the child has to type in the answer over here, and I can click on the clues also. So these are the clues which can be seen by the students. In the first go, teacher can show them all the clues, that this is what are the clues for the across, and these are the clues for the down, and then students can be given this crossword to be filled up. So again, you can use the menu option to see what kind of crossword you want to talk about and discuss into the classroom, depending upon your holiday theme, depending upon your nature of topic you are teaching into the classroom, and so on. So I hope you must be quite excited to use Google Arts and Culture into your classroom. And here you can see your achievements. So as I was saving the different items into my favorites, I have already earned so many badges. I have earned badges for pet portraits, pocket galleries, art projector, art inspector, art selfie, so and so on. And I can simply click on settings and see my weekly highlights, how much I have used Google Arts and Culture. I can earn my achievements and high scores, and simply I can get motivated with all the kind of good work I have done to make my classroom teaching very engaging. And let us now explore some of the 360-degree videos. For example, I want to take students for some kind of field trip to any place. If I am talking about Paris, and I want to take students to Paris. So there are so many places of Paris which are given over here. So let me click here and let me see. Oh, wow, the Eiffel Tower is here. So I can talk about Paris with the help of these 38 collections about Paris. There are 80 digital stories which are being given over here about Paris. There are so many places to discover. So, depending upon what topic I'm going to take, so let me take my students to the Eiffel Tower in France. So there is a complete experience which is given about Eiffel Tower. There is an online exhibition about the construction of Eiffel Tower, online exhibition of how Tower looked in 1900, the birth of Eiffel Tower, its inauguration and first visitors. So let me click here. So on the basis of the theme, the different modules have been planned which you can take with your students. So I have to click here on this arrow, and entire information is already there for my students to go through. And what happened, this was the map which was built on. It remained the world's highest construction. On May 15, the Eiffel Tower welcomed its first visitors. So these are the different digital story I can do with my students. The tower was an immediate success, and this is the entire top view which I can show it to my students. So even if your students cannot visit a particular place because of the pandemic, because of various restrictions on the travel barriers, we can always bring the world into our classroom using Google Arts and Culture. Similarly, any place in the world you want to explore, you can simply go to the search box and you can type in there, or you go to explore option. So there are 360-degree videos. Let me show you what are 360-degree videos. So these are different 360-degree videos given about different places. Go inside a space shuttle. How do you go to the toilet in the space? Children are excited to know all these concepts. Meet a prehistoric sea dragon. So this appears to be very interesting. Or come face to face with a Jurassic giant. And as I click here, I can show the entire 360-degree experience to my students using this. Let us watch this.
Welcome to the world-renowned Museum für Naturkunde in Berlin. You are now standing in the Dinosaur Hall. Look around. In Jurassic times, these all shared the same ecosystem. The sauropods evolved necks of varying lengths so that they could feed on vegetation at different heights. The very top branches were only accessible to one of the tallest dinosaurs that ever lived, Giraffa titan. It would have dwarfed even the largest animals that live on land today. To maintain its huge size, it ate all day, every day, always on the lookout for its next meal.
So you can show these kind of 360-degree videos to your students, which will create lot of engagement, lot of enthusiasm, and children can actually see that what kind of experience they get while they go to the museums, and they can actually see the life into their classroom rather than just teaching from the textbook. You can make use of these wonderful 360-degree videos into your classroom and bring the entire classroom into your engaging experiences, which the children are really going to remember forever. So here is another experience about India. Explore incredible India in 360-degree. So let us watch this video also. So as I'm clicking here on the arrows, you can see I can give the entire 360-degree view to my students using these four arrows. So these arrows
This
are
land is
helping
what you
me
dream it to be.
to give the entire 360-degree view of this video, and I can
You
take my
wander in ruins
students.
and rocks as dawn dazzles, opens like a flower, and pulls you in. You leaf through scrolls of time and pillars carved with ancient music.
So these kind of experiences really make what you are teaching into the classroom. Student can really actually visually see it, feel it, and they can discuss it in a better way rather than just reading it from the textbook. It makes their experiences more lively, it makes their experiences more natural, and they are able to understand the experiences in a better way. So this is all about Google Arts and Culture. The more you navigate, the more ideas and the more digital ways you will come out, and you will understand how to use this platform to make your teaching learning experience really wonderful, and you will get lot of experiences with your students to play with. So, thank you so much, everyone, for listening patiently with me. I hope you must have learned really great ideas today about how you can use Google Arts and Culture into your classroom experience and make your classroom experience really, really engaging. Thank you so much for joining us. And in the chat, you will be able to see the certificate link. Kindly drop your details on that certification link so that you can earn the certificate for this session for you. Thanks for joining the GEG Apex session. It was a great experience explaining about Google Arts and Culture to all of you. Thank you. Have a nice day.